The fact that in Vancouver, this one lawyer had 3 inmates ask for longer sentences so they could stay in jail to avoid the homeless crisis, the housing crisis, and stay away from dangerous drugs that are widely available on the streets in Vancouver. That's absolutely incredible. Where have we come to? How did we get here?
I have heard this particular tale for the last 30 years in my former career as a defense lawyer and Crown attorney. I usually used to hear it around wintertime when people didn't have secure housing. They'd flat out admit they wanted to commit a break and enter or some other mid-level crimes to secure about a 6-month sentence to get them through the winter season, to make sure they had 3 square meals a day, to ensure that they had a bed to sleep in. And they would be upfront with not only myself as a prosecutor, they'd be upfront with a judge. The criminal justice system, Jamie, has never been designed to be a backdrop to correcting our societal problems. It's a real reflection on how municipal governments, provincial governments, and federal governments are failing those Canadians who are suffering from addictions, who are suffering from homelessness, who are suffering from mental health deficits. We are not pooling our resources and looking at treatment and ensuring that these people don't look at the criminal justice system as a backdrop. It is a real indictment, in my view, against governments, all of governments.
100%. I can see those that are struggling with addiction for sure, and worrying about housing. Like if you're kind of teetering on the edge, you go to Vancouver and you could, I don't mean to make light of this, but there's just a buffet of drugs, illegal drugs you can get at your disposal. The temptation, I'm sure, would be overwhelming.
It shows how the BC, the province of British Columbia's drug policies are failing, and it's contributing. And it's like looking at a war-torn country in some parts of Vancouver. It's time that we took a look again at reinforcing what our the pillars of our drug policy. And just to recap what those pillars were, there's 4 pillars. It was all about prevention. It was about enforcement. It was about safe supply. And the last pillar, that we're the only party, the only political party talking about it seriously, with the exception of the Alberta provincial government, is one of treatment. So we have to get back to a balanced approach with respect to our drug policies. Our federal government, under Justin Trudeau, he's putting all eggs in that basket in terms of safe supply. There is a spot, there is a avenue for safe supply, but not to make that the predominant policy is what's creating the mess that we see on the streets of Vancouver and all our other major cities across this country.
Well, that's exactly the thing, right? Like if you're just enabling and not trying to help people, what are you really and truly trying to solve at that point? Right. Not only that, when people get desperate for that fix, they commit crimes. Then through many pieces of legislation of this Liberal government, you get out on bail very easily, right, and you go right back into the system. Like it's this revolving door. So the citizens, the regular citizens who are just paying their taxes, going to work, trying to do the right thing, are continually being victimized by these failing policies by, you're right, all 3 levels of government in some cases.
Absolutely. And as I say, we are the only party, with the exception of the province of Alberta, to show that there is another path with respect to treating these individuals. Alberta has received tremendous success. They still have a lot of problems, particularly in Edmonton, particularly in Calgary, the larger centers. But in terms of the overall overdoses and the deaths, because of their focus on treatment, not safe supply, they have seen a significant drop in those numbers. BC, with all of their soft policies, their legalization of all types of drugs, has seen a significant spike.
That's right.
With overdoses, with deaths. So when are they going to wake up to the reality out there that your soft liberal policy is not working? These people, as I said to you many, many times, You don't wake up as a productive member of the community and say to yourself, you know what, I want to be a raging alcoholic. I want to go into this path of drug addiction. I want to basically ruin my entire life, and to continue to ruin my entire life, socially isolate myself from society, from my family, and just look for my hit. They don't want that path. Ultimately, these people want to be productive again.
Absolutely.
They want to be proud of themselves. They want treatment. We as a society owe that. We as government officials owe that to them.